You never know what you will find, shaping a world that's in your mind. See for yourself and walk with me.
I'm gonna get ya. I'm gonna get ya. I'm gonna shoot you first, and then I'm gonna get ya. I don't have any armor on, so this is a one-time risk. Oh yeah, see, that's how the stalker does it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Fear of Mobs. I actually had a reason for coming down here, and it was not just killing a creeper, actually. We're going to do a little bit of work on this automated furnace system, which I finally have a name, which I'll tell you guys in a minute. Too many teasers. I've actually finally figured out, or come up with a way to make this thing automated. It's going to take a lot of redstone, and it's not... The design isn't complete. I mean, there's still lots I could do to compact it, but like, I just don't know how to do it right now, so let me just tower up here. Grab my pick. Let's get to work. So let's see here. I've been playing Minecraft on my creative world, trying to figure out how to make this thing awesome, this automated furnace thing. And like I said, I came up with an idea. Lots of minecarts, lots of stuff, but to do that, I need to build a sort of like redstone compartment underneath the whole thing. So I guess what I need to do is pretty much dig out a large area underneath, like remove, the flooring, and then use this stone brick here to actually build like the casing around it. Alright, so I'm going to start doing that now. Enjoy the music. Now I'll see you guys on the other side. There, that wasn't so bad. So I've carved out this little area down here, placed in a stone brick floor, and this is where we're going to be building most of the logic for this automated system. By the way, I think I'll tell you the name finally. I've decided to call this thing the Nether Forge. Yeah, it's I put some thought into it. First off, it has a lot of nether brick, It's a forge, basically. I wanted a cool name that sounded like, yeah, I don't know, something that sounded strong, and I thought forge sounded good. And putting the word nether in front of it made it sound even cooler. So, Nether Forge. I think that's what I'm going to call this system. So this is the Nether Forge. Let's see here. So, a few adjustments I know still need to be made to it, but we're going to hold off until I know for sure. I need to expand this platform out a little further, because this needs to come out a little further, because these minecart tracks need to actually spiral down underground here, like down under here, and I need a little more room for that. So yeah. Okay, so let's head over here. We're going to start building the system that, what does it do? It's the thing that okay, that puts the ingredients, or I'm sorry, the items that we finished smelting back into the chest, the one that's next to the diamond block. So let me head over here. Here are the requirements for this thing that we're going to build. This little mini subsystem, I guess. Whenever something is done smelting, it needs to be taken over to here. And it has to be deposited using this dropper underneath. Why? Because I want it that way. I want it to be pretty much invisible except for this little bit of stone around it. I could put the dropper back behind the chest and replace this diamond block with it, but then you'd end up seeing it, and if I can avoid breaking that, if I can avoid showing the dropper that much, then I'm gonna try to avoid doing that. I guess is what I'm trying to say here. Okay, so here we have two droppers, both pointed upward. And I wish I had a hopper right about now. Well, let me grab a hopper real quick. I'll tell you what, it always seems like I'm crafting hoppers, just non-stop. Okay, so the idea is we're going to have a hopper feeding items into this bottom dropper here. And we're going to use a comparator. Hopefully this one maybe? Yeah, this will do. To detect whether or not anything is inside the dropper. Now, I haven't actually... Alright, I've only test made this a couple times, and it wasn't perfect either time. But I'm going to try something a little different here. We're going to put the comparator on this side of the dropper. Okay, it's going to feed into the coal block. The coal block is going to transmit redstone energy down into this piece of redstone. Down into this piece of redstone right here. It's going to go over this way. And let's just kind of have it dangling there for now. So that detects whether or not anything is within the lower dropper. If something is inside of the lower dropper, we need to power both the dropper up here and this dropper here. Here's the challenge. We need to power these two droppers indirectly. That means we need to send power to a block adjacent to it without directly sending power to either of these droppers. And I haven't made something that actually works with this yet, and that's kind of what I need to figure out right here. Give me a moment. What we're going to do, or what I'm thinking about here, we'd have a repeater feeding into this block, and then we can also have this signal feeding into there. So let me climb up and let me show you guys. So repeater feeds energy into this block, which feeds power into this dropper, while another one sends power up into this block, which feeds power to the redstone, which feeds power to this block, which feeds power to that dropper. The reason we have to power these indirectly rather than just directly, putting a piece of redstone right into this or into the top one, even though that would make things a whole lot easier, we can't do that. And the reason is these hoppers right here will be stopped if they ever receive power. And the way they can receive power is through these droppers. So we can't do that. All right, so I have to do a lot of experimenting with this. I kind of have to actually figure out the logic and actually build this part. So I'm going to do that off camera real quick because that can get very boring and drag on an episode for a very long time. So I'm just going to do that real quick and cut back once I figured something out. All right. I didn't think it was possible, but I did it. And I built it in about 3 minutes. It was incredibly fast. I'm surprised. And actually, I shouldn't say it's done because I haven't tested it yet. But give me a moment here. So let me just give you a quick overview of what exactly this thing does, and I'll show you how I get it all started. So doing the best that I can. First off, one of the first changes I made, I switched out this cobblestone block for a slab. And that's because slabs cannot transmit energy, so you can put a redstone torch underneath it and you won't get a short circuit. And by short circuit, I mean the shenanigans that happens when you do this. And then it burns out. torch sends power to block sends power to redstone sends power to block sends power to torch, and it's a cycle. And because that's a NOT gate, essentially, it inverts the power, so it just keeps flipping back and forth until it burns out. But this, however, does not do that because the slab doesn't transmit energy. And I'm probably using all the wrong terms. I don't care. Anyway, so what's happening right here is the torch is sending power to this row of redstone. Now, this little contraption thingy, this is a 1-tick clock. This is a clock that will send 1 tick, will alternate between on and off very quickly, on off, as fast as a repeater can possibly go. And that is what I want to power these these droppers here. I want a 1-tick clock going on, off, activating things as fast as possible. That's what I want. The reason why I have all this redstone here and these repeaters on the ends is to lock it, so that I can. Here, let me show you. I want this whole thing to be able to lock. So here's what I'm doing. I'm going to start it up. Okay. Now it's started. Now what I have to do is put this back, remove this. So these 2 repeaters here are the clock. One is on, one's off. As soon as this torch turns off and these repeaters turn off, then it'll start pulsing very fast, very rapidly, send the signal, the pulsating signal, all the way up here to these repeaters, and then consequently into the droppers. And I'm excited to try this out. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put, let's put in, put that in there. Oh, hey, it's not working. Take that out. Okay, so the clock pulsing system works, but for some reason, this one right here is not turning on and off, or is not sending anything to the dropper above it, despite the fact that this is pulsing. And it's pulsing very slowly. Look at that. It's so strange. Let's try that. Oh, there we go. It works. That is weird. I really wonder why it was behaving like that. So apparently putting a repeater here wouldn't work, but putting a redstone worked. Okay, so that worked. So now this lower dropper is empty. Now I need to get access to the upper dropper and make sure that that one worked. Yep, empty and full. Awesome! This is awesome. So our first system for this nether forge works. As soon as something enters the dropper here, the automated system will send all the items up to the top. Let it keep going. Done. Wonderful. Okay, so one last point I want to touch on before I cut to the next thing is this repeater was not actually now, the only reason this repeater is there is so that the 2 signals, this piece of redstone and the redstone that would be there, don't overlap. But it also serves as a delay so that the upper dropper is activated like a split second after the lower dropper is activated. So it sends an item up, and then a split second later, the top dropper sends it up to the chest. So I guess that works out. It solves any issues you might have with timing and stuff, but it's unintended, I guess. I didn't really want it to happen, but it works, so that's great. Good thing, good stuff. Okay, so the next thing, and this is actually going to be very difficult with this whole setup here, is somehow feeding this hopper, or actually not feeding the hopper, taking things from the hopper, putting them into a minecart, and having the minecart deliver the items to all the furnaces. That's going to be tricky, and I'm going to cut right now as I think on how to solve this problem. I might have to make some adjustments to this little system here, but I'll figure it out. Alright. Cut! So I decided to take a break from the Nether Forge and decided to do something different. I had a great idea at the end of last episode. I chopped down all the trees here, and right now just collecting what's left here. We're going to do something awesome, and it's going to be in the form of a time lapse. I want to strip away everything I've done here so far and put in a garden. some rooftop gardens. I think it's going to be beautiful. So I'm going to start work on this. Once again, enjoy the music, and I'll see you guys on the other side. I don't know about you guys, but I think this looks fantastic. I'm not trying to brag. I mean, this looks way better than what we had here before. And I know there's a lot of dark, wood, dark trees we have here. We got dark planks. I decided to just use just the dark oak since I had so much of it. And you know what? I think it gives a very warm feel, a very comforting feel, and I love it. I just like it so much. So let's just, we gotta have some trees here. Alright, so these spruce trees, I figured this out after last episode. You can actually make them like these humongous monsters, and they're just amazing sources of wood, just as much as the oak. Sorry if you hear background noise. My roommate's watching something funny, apparently. Anyway, so the idea here is to have these dirt patches here, and these ones right here, they're going to have flowers in them. These ones right here, immediately next to the next to the path, are going to have hopefully like bushes and stuff, like rose bushes and things. Let me just put some of this here. I was going to use fences to kind of guide your way, but I decided I don't want to do that. In fact, I'm not even sure if I want these ones here. I'm going to try bushes. I think the bushes might be kind of nice. I don't know. I'll try different things. I think the bushes will be nice here. Kind of like this. Ooh, I missed a spot. That's embarrassing. There we go. Awesome. So, yeah, I'm going to go and get my flowers and plant some in here, but I think that's actually going to wrap up today's episode. We did a lot of work on the furnace, or the nether forge. Finally came up with a name for that. We built the rooftop gardens, which I think turned out way better than I ever thought. I think it looks great. And once we have flowers in here in color, and I'm able to put in some redstone lamps, it's just going to be amazing. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Fear of Mobs. Please leave a like and a comment down below. It will really mean a lot to me. I'll see you all next time on Fear of Mobs.
Right through that mark. At last I found me some diamonds. Oh, I'm so happy I could ride a pig.